Hey, podcast listeners, Shannon here. As you know, my mom Sandy and I are taking a little time off before our next season and rerunning some of our favorite episodes. And this time of year always highlights one of the topics we talked about a year or so ago about being stuck. I have a history around Halloween of getting absorbed in the process of figuring out and putting together a costume, so much so that I will do it over and over and over again for months before Halloween, coming up with several different costume ideas. And then by the time Halloween gets around, I can't pick one, and I'm so exhausted and sick of the whole thing, I just don't do anything. And that has highlighted one of my big challenges in life, which is that I love anticipation. It is my favorite place to stay, to hang out in anticipation, which is great sometimes because it can totally enhance the experience when it eventually comes to fruition, but can be a real challenge for me if it's up to me to make whatever it is that I'm looking forward to happen, because I will stay in anticipation and then not be able to move forward. Today, I'm thinking about what it means to be stuck and how to get out of it so that you can actually bring whatever you're looking forward to into reality. So please enjoy today's episode on being stuck.
Shannon, how are you today?
Hey, Sandy, I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm a little frustrated with myself because I forgot to do an important thing to get our podcast going, but you helped me figure it out, so we're good.
Some days are like that. You're moving through your life and things feel like they should just go the way they always do, but then they don't.
We're good and we're here, and I'm really pleased to talk to you and our listeners. So.
I am too. And I like the episode that we're doing today. We've touched on it a couple of times in the past. Primarily when we've spoken about being stuck, it's in reliving something or in a relationship. And today we're just talking about being stuck in general. And I think we've all had that feeling, no matter how big or how small.
Right. The reason I came up with this is because I was stuck on figuring out what would be a good topic for today. And it dawned on me, well, Sandy, you're really stuck on this, so let's just look at stuck.
Which is great because it means you're unable to move from a particular position or place, at a loss for ideas or vision, or you're in a situation you feel powerless to change.
Right. And I was kind of there for some of those. But
Yes.
fortunately, the light dawned and I figured out, oh, let's write about this. You can also be stuck in a relationship or a career path or a job, a pattern of behavior. A lot of people are stuck in behavior patterns.
hmm
Physical place or trying to make a huge or small decision like I was.
hmm
And a wide number of situations, all kinds of things you can get stuck in.
And that's okay once in a while. There are definite positives to being in a comfort zone. And the biggie is that you feel safe there because you know what to expect. Life is predictable.
Exactly. And it lets you rest and recharge. And eventually, it might help you realize that you don't want to stay where you are. And then that realization will inspire you to do something different.
Yeah, it's a necessary pause because if you're moving through something, sometimes you need to stop and think about it, just kind of let things percolate and then get clear on where you want to go, what direction you want to head in. So you can pause, focus on maybe what you're afraid of, maybe what's stopping you, maybe what patterns you want to change. And then from that vantage point, you can start moving again.
Exactly. It helps you get clear and learn about yourself and identify what's keeping you where you are. What are you avoiding? And it also gives you the opportunity to seek and receive the help and support and assistance and mentoring you need so you can actually learn and grow, which is
Mhm.
really important.
And what I've learned from the situations in my life where I felt stuck is that sometimes I feel like I'm ready to go, like you're champing at the bit and you're just like, let's move.
Right, right.
Things just aren't coming together in a way that helps you move. And so sometimes for me, that has been about trusting the process. I feel like I've done everything I can to initiate movement, but
Right.
it's just not time yet, or things haven't all played out the way they need to yet, or maybe there is something I've missed.
Yeah, they're not coming together even though you're ready to go.
hmm
You just have to be aware of that and work with it and pay attention to how things are unfolding so when it is time, you can jump on it.
You're ready.
Exactly. But when you're stuck, feels like you're running on a treadmill, you're working hard and getting nowhere, or you're constantly questioning your choices and are really hard on yourself. As a result of that, you're unhappy and feeling unfulfilled.
Yeah, and you're not moving ahead and you're not achieving your goals and you can see them and you can feel how far away they are from you. And so you're wishing for more, but then you're living in fear for some reason because you're afraid you're not going to get them, or you're maybe standing in your own way and you're afraid of that and you don't know how to undo that knot. And so you just start overthinking and spinning out.
Or maybe you're just stuck in the past. We've
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about that.
Hmm.
Or in the future. A lot of people are so focused on 5 years down the road that they don't look for now what they need to do to get there. Oh, when I have $4 billion, I'll be great. Good. How are you going to do that? And you have to back up. But a lot of people don't. They just are stuck in the future.
Yeah, if you can't find happiness today, you're not going to find it when you have that thing you think you want.
Yes, things don't bring happiness. A lot of people don't understand that. Once your basic needs, food, clothing, shelter, and safety are met, thousands of dollars or millions of dollars really don't bring joy.
We could talk about it in terms of everything, that job you want, that relationship you want. Those things, even if they turn out to be the wonderful experience that you wanted them to be in and of themselves, if you can't find happiness in this moment, you won't be able to do that then either. It might bring a temporary bump,
Sure,
but
sure.
eventually things are going to settle down and you got to be able to focus on the positive, find the joy, all of that.
And if you stay stuck for too long, it can cause you a lot of stress.
Yeah.
If you're aware you want to move or you're not happy where you are, but you don't do anything about it, you can be anxious and it can actually impact your physical, emotional, and mental health.
Hmm. We've talked about this before. I think we both have some people in our lives who really like to focus on the negative.
Yes,
They complain a lot, and sometimes our interactions with these people are all about them complaining. I know we used to say, why don't they do something to change their circumstances? When it finally occurred to both of us that they're happy being unhappy. This
yes,
is where they want to be.
yes, yes. And so they get to stay there, and I don't know if they understand that or not. At least we don't feel like we have to support them in changing if they don't want to get
Right.
unstuck. But like Tony Robbins said, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. That is one of my very favorite quotes ever because it's so true. So if you continue to stay on the treadmill, on the path that you're on, and you don't like it, you're still going to get what you've gotten unless you get off the treadmill and do something different.
Sometimes we don't know we're stuck.
That's true. You might have outgrown a situation. It no longer fits who you are or who you want to be, but you may not even be aware that. You just realize that something feels off.
Hmm.
I know many years ago when I was in a relationship, it just wasn't flowing well. It wasn't working, but I couldn't identify exactly what was going on until one day it just hit me in the face. That's like, oh, yes, it's this. Oh, okay, now I've got it. But for quite a while, I was stuck because I didn't know exactly what was happening or what I really wanted to do. Once I figured it out, then I took action and made a difference. But you can be stuck just because you've outgrown something and don't even know about that.
Yeah, and I think in your situation, what you realized was that the situation you were in was no longer aligning with your values.
Yeah,
So you were feeling disconnected from your values.
exactly. At one point, it all fit and it was great. As time went on, things changed, I changed, and it didn't fit anymore. Sometimes when you realize that and you start to figure out how to get unstuck, you're afraid you might lose something in the process. You
Hmm.
always lose something in the process. If you're stuck and you decide to leave it, things are going to change.
Yeah. Or you've just lost hope or faith that the future will be better. You've kind of given up believing things will change. I know I felt this way in certain jobs I've had,
Mhm.
that you think maybe once I get better, maybe when I change shifts, maybe when management changes. And then eventually you come to realize all of those things have happened and I'm still in this unhappy place.
Exactly. And when you do that, you often feel overwhelmed or unfulfilled or burned out or tired. It's just a negative place to be.
Although there is a whole lot of liberation that comes with realizing you're stuck.
Absolutely. When you can do that, that's fabulous.
Because once you go, oh, I get it. This is always going to be this way. Then you can stop being on that treadmill. Then you can start making a plan for the future, even if it doesn't take hold today. You're no longer hoping that something will change, and that frees up a lot of energy.
Oh, absolutely. And then you're not stuck anymore. Even
Yeah.
if you're still in the same situation, your mindset is different and you have decided that you're going to make a change. And so then you can take it one step at a time.
You can also find yourself comparing yourself to other people. What do they have that I don't have?
Exactly. How come they're happy and I'm not? How
Right.
come I can't do that and they do and all that? And that's a way to figure out that you're stuck because you're not focusing on you, you're focusing on others. And you're not trusting yourself enough to make a change and be successful in that change. So you just stay where you are in your comfort zone, even though it no longer fits.
It's scary to drop that security blanket.
It can be really nice for quite a while, but then it can also become a trap. It's kind of like the velvet trap, you know?
That's what we used to call one of the towns I worked in. We called it the Velvet Rut
Really?
because people would go there to take a job. It was like the next step up
Hmm.
from the beginner market in television, and then you go to your medium market, and it was the next step up, and everybody had their eye on the big market, and you think you're going to go to the middle market and then jump to the big market. But what happens is you get in that middle market and you're making decent money and it's a nice place to live, and then you meet somebody, and then before you know it, 20 years have gone by and you're still there.
Yeah.
And it's comfy and it's warm and it feels good and you have all these great things, but you're not going to get out of it.
Yeah, if that's what you want and you're happy
Right.
there and you're not feeling stuck, perfect. You've created the life you want. But if you still have dreams of being in the huge market and making millions of dollars and being internationally famous, those dreams are not going to come together if you stay where you are.
Right. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. And that's John Maxwell. And I love that because even the tiniest little change
Hmm.
can make a huge difference because the further away you get from the day you start that change, the more in a different direction you're going.
Right. And once you make one change, you will be inspired to make more changes because you'll realize that that change worked and I'm moving in this direction now. What's the next step? What can I do next?
Before you start doing that, though, you got to figure out what you want to change.
Right. For some people, that happens by looking at what you don't like, see what you want, and look at the difference, and then take it one step at a time.
Sometimes we don't know where we want to go, though. We just know we don't like where we are.
Right.
So, do you have to identify where you're stuck?
I think you can identify what you don't like, and
Yeah.
that's where you're stuck. You don't have to be really clear on where you want to go. You just want certain things to be different. And as you think about that more and more, I think it will unfold.
You gave me some really helpful advice when I was mid career during the pandemic. And I was saying it's overwhelming applying for jobs because there are so many. And I have the kind of skills that can be applied just about anywhere.
Hmm.
And so it was really overwhelming when somebody would say, well, what do you want to do? I don't know. And you said you don't have to know what you want to do. All you have to know is what you want to feel like going to work.
Right.
And that was huge
Hmm.
because if you focus on how you want to feel, then you'll get a variety of opportunities that will bring that into your life that you never would have chosen otherwise.
Right. That you might not even have been aware existed.
Yeah.
Very good. Good job, Shan.
Well, thanks for the advice. So that was part of the figuring out where I was stuck. I didn't know where I was stuck. I knew what I didn't want to feel and what I did want to feel.
Yeah.
And so that's how I knew what I wanted to be different. That is the only thing I knew. But if you focus on that long enough, it grows.
And then you start looking at, well, where would I feel that? What would make me happy? You got to identify your fears and decide how realistic they are. And then look what will happen if you do nothing. And what will happen if you do something different?
Yeah, a little fear never hurt anybody.
Take a chance. Just take a risk now and then. And once you're clear, like you were, about how you wanted to feel, you knew where to look a little more. You started developing a clear idea on how to move ahead.
I used to work with a man who had been in the same position in television. He worked behind the scenes for a very long time. He was really good at it, but he was in a very small market and he didn't want to be in a very small market anymore. And he was very vocal about that for many, many years. And I kept saying, "What are you doing about it? What are you doing about it? Are you going to do something about it? Are you going to send out resume tapes? Are you going to apply for jobs?" I don't know what he did for 10 years, more than that.
Hmm.
But one day he finally sent a tape in and got hired by ESPN. And I was like, yes, because you just know that he got clear about where he wanted to be and he put all of his energy into that. And then he went there.
Right. Yep, he just made it happen, and
He
it
made
took
it
him
happen.
quite a while to get there. First, it took him quite a while to get stuck and realize he
Yeah.
was stuck, not happy, and then it took him a while to develop his clear idea, but once he did, he made it happen.
He took the steps. He figured out, what do I need to do? I need to put together a tape. Who do I want to send it to? How do I get it there? All that stuff. And like, bam, there you go. So, one of the things you say often and that we bring up often in our podcast is the phrase create an action plan. And I
Mhm.
hate that phrase.
Sorry about that.
But really, it just means I want to go over there. How do I get over there?
Yeah,
That's all that means.
little tiny itty bitty steps. Maybe it means get up 15 minutes early. Maybe it means make a list of people you need to call. It's not huge. Success is built on those little tiny steps, and getting out of your stuckness is also built on those little tiny steps.
Yeah, they build on each other.
They do. And if your friend hadn't done his tape and hadn't gotten clear on who to send it to and taken the risk of actually reaching out and doing that, if he just kept saying, I want to be in a big market, I want to be in a big market, and hadn't done anything, he would still be where he was.
He'd be out of a job because that station no longer exists.
Well, there's that, see? But he took care of that.
He took care of that, yeah.
And he did it in his own time.
Yeah, you say set a timeline and don't rush it. And those two things to me feel at odds. Can you explain that?
Well, you can set your timeline, but things also, like you said, need to unfold. They need to flow. He figured out what he wanted, but he didn't say that he needed it by next week. He just said, I'm going to do this and see how it unfolds.
So hold yourself accountable to a timeline.
Of
Today I'm going to
course.
do these things.
Exactly. And that's your action plan. Sorry.
So control the things that you have control over and then let it play out.
Exactly, exactly. And if you're not sure what to do, talk with a friend or a mentor and ask for support and guidance.
Or a coach.
Yes, absolutely. Coaches, that's what we do. That's what coaching is all about, is helping you figure out where you want to go and how to get there and then walking with you as you go there. It's a fun process and it's all about success. You got to trust your gut too. Notice how you're
Yes.
feeling, like your friend. He was going on his gut. He knew when was the right time. And everybody around him was thinking, what the heck are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, what are you doing? But he trusted his gut. He knew when it was the right time and he listened to his instincts. He did it when it was time. So I'm impressed with
Yes.
him.
But I also know people who have gone after something for a really long time. It comes to them and it's not what they wanted, or it just feels off.
Hmm.
And they decide, even though I've spent the past 5 years working for this, it doesn't feel right.
Right,
I'm going to get out and hit the pause button and recalibrate and figure out where my calculations were wrong.
right.
So it's important to listen to your gut.
Always.
We often want things that ultimately aren't good for us. I want to eat the entire pint of ice cream.
The pint. I want the half gallon.
The half gallon. That works.
But you choose not to, you know.
Sometimes.
That's good. Even if you are making decisions, the end result isn't exactly what you hoped it would be, you're no longer stuck.
True.
If that direction isn't working, at least you're not stuck in where you were, you're moving. And so you can take a detour, you can turn. But before, when you were stuck, you weren't moving anywhere.
It is possible, though, and I know people who do this, who go from being stuck to being stuck to being stuck. Their only goal is to get out of the stuck today. So then they grab the first life raft that comes by, and then they wind up getting stuck somewhere different.
Right. And they're not trusting their gut.
Right. and they don't get clear. They just know, I don't want this. Anything is better than this.
Right. And in some situations, maybe it is. If you're in an abusive relationship, anything's better than staying there. Get out. But you may get out and end up somewhere else you don't want to be, maybe not as awful. Then that's a step. And then you trust your gut and look around and find what the next step will be. Or if you're in a terrible job, you want to get out of it, do it. And you may get into another job that you don't particularly like, but it probably isn't going to be as awful as the one you left. So then you can keep taking steps and looking around and moving ahead. As long as you're moving, you're not stuck.
You have to be an active participant.
Oh, always. Yeah. This is all about each person creating their own life and
Yes.
making it be what he or she or they want it to be.
Yes.
You got to remember also in the process, appreciate yourself and the self-awareness you've created to identify this situation and the courage that you've summoned to get unstuck and move ahead. And even if it doesn't work out perfectly, you still need to be gentle with yourself and appreciate the fact that you are taking charge of your life.
Yes. One of the things that I've realized about being stuck, if I can't seem to get out of it, is to ask myself, after I've exhausted all other options, what am I supposed to be learning from this situation?
Absolutely.
Because once you learn the lesson, you
Uh-huh.
will probably be amazed that things will change on their own.
That is a very, very important point. Anytime you're stuck, there's a lesson to be learned. With the relationship I was in, what I learned was I have to value myself.
Yeah.
And that was a huge lesson that I have carried with me ever since. But I was stuck for a long time until I got that lesson. And then when I realized it, then it was like, okay, this is what needs to happen.
Yeah,
So,
the lesson will frequently lead to the next step because now you know and there's no other option.
exactly.
Would you like to share the bottom line?
The bottom line is at various times in your life, you'll find you're stuck. It might be that you don't know which way to go with a decision or are in a relationship or situation that doesn't fit and is holding you back. Sometimes being stuck is okay because it gives you time to get clear, see what's not working, and create a plan on how to get unstuck. However, staying stuck for too long can stop your growth and interfere with you moving ahead and achieving your goals. There are many things you can do to get unstuck, but the first step is realizing that you're caught in this cycle. Once you understand that, you can look deeper into what you're thinking and feeling about the situation, and then outline a plan. Take steps to change your situation. There's that action plan. This is where you claim your personal power and start creating the life you want. Always remember to appreciate and be gentle with yourself as you move from your comfort zone into a new adventure.
Yes, and remember, just because you don't see the entire road to get where you want to go, that's okay. If you see the next step, take it because it is true that the steps will appear as you move down them.
Yeah, Bob Proctor said, step forward into growth rather than backward into safety.
Ooh, I like that.
If you continue to move ahead, you will be unstuck and you will create what you're looking for.
Yeah. We're going to take our own advice because we got stuck today. And we're going to ask somebody for help, and that would be you. So if you have topics that you would like us to address or that are close to your heart, please send them to us because that's really helpful. And frequently we learn new things as well, and we like to learn about what's going on with you guys. So share your stories with us, make your suggestions to us, and if you feel like it, please review our podcast, and you can do that wherever you stream. Or you can just visit us at yourpersonalpowerpod.com, click contact, and drop us an email. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel and then share our podcast with your family and friends so they can join in all the fun and share their topic ideas with us. And if you want to learn about coaching, it's really helpful. It's actually really fun and empowering. Contact Sandy at insidejobscoach.com and help those steps emerge in front of you. We look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, find your power and change your life.